Welcome back to day 6 on our 30-day journey into XRP. At this point, you've probably noticed Ripple doesn't act like the rest of crypto. It doesn't chase hype or speculation, it doesn't tweet drama, and it's not promising to burn tokens for clout. All of this has made me really curious. Who is actually running XRP? Who are the brains that are running this infrastructure that want to do more than store value or move money? Both of these ideas are great, but is it innovative? Is it disruptive? Something that I continue to hear many people in corporate leadership roles asking of themselves and people that they lead. How does our product disrupt the system? What I found wasn't what I was expecting, but everything I expected at the same time. If one was truly serious about changing the infrastructure of how money moves around the world, Ripple is that someone. It isn't being run by crypto influencers or anonymous devs in hoodies in basements. And there's nothing wrong with this type of development. But Ripple is handling this a lot differently. It's being steered by people who've shaped government policy, printed our money, and built billion-dollar systems from scratch. This isn't just a crypto company. It's a signal of where we're going in the future, of finance as a whole. So let's start with the foundation. How did Ripple or XRP start? Ripple's roots go back to a group of cryptographers and early internet developers. David Schwartz, one of the original architects of the XRP ledger, a cryptography genius who helped design secure messaging systems for CNN and even the NSA. Next up, we have Arthur Britto, rarely seen publicly, but instrumental in building XRPL's consensus protocol. Next, Jed McCaleb, who created Mt. Gox, which was a Bitcoin exchange based in Japan, and it launched in 2010. And by 2014, was handling over 70% of all Bitcoin transactions worldwide. Jed McCaleb co-founded Ripple and later left to start Stellar after ideological differences within Ripple. Next up, we have Chris Larsen, serial entrepreneur, having co-founded an online e-company that was the first to offer consumers free credit reports. This is something that isn't that big of a deal today. You can get a free credit report with ease in America. But at the time, this led innovation for consumers and those that were providing services. Next up, Chris Larsen became Ripple's co-founder and the first CEO. Mr. Larsen has self-described himself as radically pro-consumer. He co-founded the Coalition for Californians for Privacy Now, where he helped fund the project with his own money, giving a $1 million investment. He has appeared as a speaker at industry events such as SIBOS, which is Swift's flagship conference. And the fact that Swift, the legacy system, has invited Chris Larsen to be a part of a speaking panel says so much about not only what Swift thinks of Chris Larsen, but also what Chris Larsen thinks of Swift and the integration of the old and the new together. Mr. Larsen is an advisor or a board member for organizations such as Credit Karma, which is huge in the United States and probably elsewhere, Electronic Privacy Information Center on Independent Nonprofit Research Center, established in 1994 to protect privacy, freedom of expression, and democratic values in the information age. Along with Mr. Larson, also sitting on the board of Quifeng, a Chinese peer to peer lending website focused on student loans, founded in 2008. Mr. Larson has been working so long with this idea of peer to peer payments, of this idea of supporting consumers, and concerning himself with privacy, integrity, and drive into the future. Mr. Larson was briefly ranked fifth place in the list of the world's richest people by Forbes magazine. It's interesting that he is noted for giving away $1 million dollars to five different San Francisco based food banks during the 2020 worldwide, like everything that happened. This says so much about who he is, the type of person that he wants to be, and how he puts his mouth where his money is, or he puts his money where his mouth is, shall we say. From the start, there was tension within Ripple to build either something that was totally decentralized or to build something regulators would actually adopt. Ripple leaned into the second, and that decision has shaped every choice they've made since then. So, who are the brains and the backbone of Ripple? David Schwartz is the CTO, or the Chief Technical Officer at Ripple, and one of the original architects of the XRP ledger. But his impact goes way deeper than his title. He's been working on Ripple since 2011. 2 years before graduating college, David Schwartz, had already filed patents for cloud computing and encryption. This was in 1990, before most of people, or not even myself, had even tested or used the internet or even knew what it was. Mr. Schwartz was already creating products and patents that could lead us into a new evolution of information and how we move data. He helped build XRP's Ledger Core. David Schwartz is, as I said, the Chief Technical Officer, and he has really led the way of what is happening at Ripple. One of the technologies that he co-invented was something called hash time locked contracts, or HTLC. In plain English, that's a way to make sure someone not only gets paid, but they have to meet certain criteria or conditions. And they have to do this within a set amount of time. If not, the funds go back automatically to the sender. So basically, it's like giving your money to someone in a transaction, but it's only released if they have a secret pass key to unlock the information, and they do so within a certain amount of time. All of this is performed within a smart contract, and the correct offering or the pass key unlocks this transaction. The idea is now used everywhere, from cross-chain swaps to Bitcoin Lightning Network. But it was people like David who laid the groundwork early on for this new digital infrastructure. And this tells you something. Ripple's not just using blockchain. The CTO literally helped invent the way value moves securely between people who don't trust each other. Mr. Schwartz has actively led the Ripple blockchain vision as it looks today. He's not still here with Ripple, but he's actually still building with Ripple. Next up, I want to bring up Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO. He joined Ripple in 2015 after leadership roles at AOL and Yahoo. And yes, this guy stands behind his word. While he was at Yahoo as an executive, he wrote the Peanut Butter Manifesto, which was warning the leadership within the Yahoo company not to spread itself too thin by trying to do too many things at once. Garlinghouse felt that chasing every single opportunity wouldn't match the core strengths and values within Yahoo, and he brought it to everyone's attention. This perhaps shows Brad's willingness to challenge not only other colleagues and leadership people, but also to address inaccuracy in companies' missions straightforward and with direct communication. Brad Garlinghouse raised over $2 million dollars for Ripple. He has led Ripple through the SEC lawsuit that has lasted many years. And he's also noted for leaving a CEO position at Hightel in 2014. And the reason for him leaving was a disagreement with the board of directors regarding the company's direction, revealing time and time through his CV his commitment to company direction and stepping forward and making his actions match that which he believes the company stands for. Say what you want about CEOs, but surviving a lawsuit with the SEC and come in finishing it has you come out stronger. And this is something that is rare for anyone to face a big challenge and to come out stronger and more committed to what you're actually doing. Next up is Rosie Rios, board member of Ripple. Her name is printed on $1.7 trillion in US currency at the present moment. Today, over 90% of all $100 bills in circulation carry Rosie Rios' signature. Her name isn't just in history books, it's literally on the money that we carry in our wallets. She is the former treasurer of the United States under President Obama. Rosie Rios oversaw the Bureau of Engraving and Printing and the U.S. Mint. She has led efforts to put the first woman's face on U.S. currency for the first time in history. She has a world record for the most U.S. notes bearing her signature. Rosie Rios graduated from Harvard University and is the first Latina woman in their history to have a portrait commissioned after her. This is kind of amazing. Rosie Rios also worked in private equity and real estate, managing over $22 billion in investment portfolios. Rosie Rios also took a visiting scholar role at Radcliffe Institute for Advanced Study at Harvard University with a focus on millennials and post-millennials. Rosie Rios continues to possess a deep desire to understand not only money today, but where money will go in the future. Rosie Rios again served on the Treasury Federal Reserve transition team under President Biden during the pandemic economy crisis in 2020. She's not just here to look good on paper, and that would be an insult to even believe that. She's helping Ripple align with the future of finance, and the symbolism of her being on the board says so much about who she is and who Ripple is. Next up, we have Lauren Believe, head of U.S. policy at Ripple. She's a former White House policy director under President Obama. She now leads Ripple's public policy work in Washington. This is the person that Ripple sends to Washington, D.C. to sit across from regulators, to have conversations, and to get them in the room, and to create policies and regulations that will lead us into the future. Next, we have Brian Ballard, who is a head of government affairs at Ripple. He's a longtime DC power player and lobbyist, deeply connected to the Trump administration. Hired in 2024 to lead Ripple's Republican-facing strategy. Hiring both Lauren and Ballard shows Ripple's deep commitment to bipartisan legislation and regulations. They're choosing to place people in the right places with the right people to create influence of where Ripple will go in the future. Next, another member of the board of directors is Michael Warren. He's not from the crypto world at all. His value to Ripple comes from his deep experience in global finance, policy, and geopolitical strategy. He served as senior roles under both President Clinton and President Obama. He's executive director of the National Economic Council as well. He was appointed by President Obama to the Overseas Private Investment Corporation, and he's a senior partner of Albert Stonebridge Group, part of the Denton's Global Advisors team. This is a whole bunch of information, but this guy is busy and he's connected globally to the world of finance. Michael Warren isn't a flashy name, but he's highly connected. He served under two US presidents and advised Fortune 100 groups or companies and helped companies navigate global policy. Monica Long is the next person I want to talk about. She's the president of Ripple. Monica Long started at Ripple in 2013 as the company's first marketing hire. And now she's the president of Ripple, leading both product and global strategy. That says something about her, absolutely. But it also says something about Ripple. They don't just build infrastructure, they grow leadership from the inside. And Monica's rise shows they bet on people who understand the full mission, not just the headlines. She has overseen both RippleNet and RippleX, and she leads their stablecoin rollout of RLUSD. Monica Long, it's also worth noting that she didn't just climb the ladder at Ripple, she helped build the ladder for others behind her. Crypto as a whole is still a much male dominated space. And instead of being the exception, Monica's actively working to change the system from within. She's the executive sponsor of the Women at Ripple Employee Resource Group, helping create space for women's voices in blockchain and finance. It's easy to talk about leadership in terms of titles, but Monica's leadership shows up in Ripple's culture as well, and how they're choosing to build an ecosystem that isn't just faster, but also more inclusive. Next, Stuart Alderoty, Chief Legal Officer at Ripple. If Ripple needed someone to both defend and fight at the same time, this is Stuart Alderoty. He's their legal shield and their sharpest weapon. He hasn't just protected Ripple, he's helped shape the regulatory battlefield itself. With over 30 years of legal experience, he's previously worked with HSBC, American Express, and CIT Group. He has led Ripple's defense through a multi-year lawsuit with the SEC in the United States. Ripple has been in a legal battle with the SEC for years, but now it's finally winding down. Ripple dropped its cross appeal. The SEC is expected to also drop theirs as well. But most of the questions have been settled, and the case is nearly closed, with Ripple paying a reduced fine of $50 million. And through it all, Stuart Alderoty wasn't just defending Ripple as a company. He helped Ripple define the fight. He proved that standing up to regulators isn't just possible, it's something necessary to move the entire industry forward. In 2023, a judge ruled that XRP is not a security when sold to regular people. This case is now settling. Ripple will pay a $50 million fine, but the bigger win is regulatory clarity, and Stuart helped make this happen. Most crypto companies avoid regulators. Ripple is actually hiring them. They're not just trying to disrupt the system from the outside, they're threading themselves into the very fabric of what will come next. And the more I learn about who's behind Ripple, the more I understand why this company moves the way it does, quietly, strategically, and with a plan. It feels like a company that's not just building tech, they're building trust. And the people behind it, from Monica Long to Rosie Rios to Stuart Alderoty, they don't want to feel, I don't think they were like randomly hired. I think they were intentionally placed into their positions. Their backgrounds, their actions, even their values, they all seem to echo Ripple's mission to bridge the old world of finance with whatever's coming next. And what stands out is this: the use case that hasn't even been fully actualized yet. The tech is ready, the people are ready, and still they wait. We wait. It's like the system is built, the team is in position, and everyone's holding steady for one thing: regulatory clarity and global adoption. This kind of patience, this kind of long game says a lot, especially in a space that is full with short-term noise. And if you're wondering why I keep showing up to study this project, to study this blockchain, to study this company, this is why. The people that have been hired truly seem to reflect a mission that Ripple has stated. Their actions, their CVs reflect people who are deeply committed to truth, consumer protection, privacy, finance, both old and new. I'm super excited to have found Ripple. I'm super excited to dive deeper into Ripple. And I'm super excited to continue to just unpack this information. So I invite you to like, subscribe, leave a comment, ask questions, ask me anything about crypto, about Ripple, about XRP. Let's discover who this company is. And let's lead ourselves into whatever the next step in financial revolution will be in the world. Until tomorrow, see you later. And thank you so much for joining. Bye.